Hey everyone, this is Keith Scott from out in Sydney, Australia. I'm one of the voices of Bullwinkle J. Moose. It's time to watch Relentless and Unstoppable. And so give it up for your main hosts, Douglas Kenny and Andy McPhee.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny and welcome to Relentless and Unstoppable. We have another amazing guest coming on the channel today, so please hit like and subscribe. And after this episode, please stay tuned to the RNU channel for more amazing guests. Let's get this on!
Hey everybody, how you doing? Just a quick little share of why I started Relentless and Unstoppable. It was for one very simple reason, because of Doug Kenny. Nothing to do with me at all, zero. I was just coaching Doug, and he took on the coaching and mentoring, and he made all the changes. He took all the suggestions from his parents as well as my coaching, but it was all about Doug, his breakthrough and his weight loss, his willingness to accept that he is dealing with high functioning autism and other issues, but he's never quit, he's never given up. So we did one interview with him to share his story, and then we decided to start interviewing other people. And Doug has now taken over the whole channel, and he does all the interviews, he runs everything. He's just an amazing young man. So RNU was born from simply what an amazing young man Doug is, and his story needed to be shared.
I see. When it comes to your Christmas movies that you've produced and or directed, is there a common denominator for each story that you come up with?
Well, some of the movies we do develop and come up with, and some of them are just given to us to create as like a production services company. But I think with us, I don't know if there's anything common. We seem to do a lot of time travel movies, but that's not something that it just kind of tends to happen that way. I always like a little magic at Christmas, whether that's traditional, magic like Santa, or if it's just the magic of the season that everybody, experiences in their real life. But I think the key for me and Christmas movies is that the story is told well. It's got the right actors in place, and we're able to pull the emotions. And, the big thing about Christmas is pulling the memories of when you were a kid or a teenager or getting older. And I think that's what the Hallmark movies do. They really strike the chords of whatever person's history or past. And that's why people love Christmas so much, because it brings back these fond memories and of loved ones.
Definitely. Both A Merry Scottish Christmas and A Biltmore Christmas, there were a lot of elements in it that brought back, the amazing feelings that I got when younger from the Polar Express, which I think is probably the best Christmas movie ever made,
Yep.
Brought back those feelings, although for the Scottish one, it brought back feelings in part because of Christmas and because I recently came back from Scotland earlier this year. And so when I hear, in that story, how the family ends up staying in Scotland, it's like, I can't blame them because I know what it's like to be there,
Yeah. Yeah. I loved, Scotland was great. And we shot some of it in Ireland that we faked for Scotland, but that was a great movie because it wasn't your traditional love story. It was more about a brother-sister relationship coming back together, and the B story was the love story. So I thought that was interesting, and I just love bringing back, Scott Wolf and Lacey together was so fun, and the audience loved it, and we're so looking forward to that reconnection from the show that they did.
Yeah. So tell our followers a bit of what A Biltmore Christmas is about.
Well, Biltmore Christmas is about a woman who's rewriting a movie that took place at Biltmore in the past, and she discovers a timepiece that brings her back in time to the original production of I think it's his Merry Wife. Sorry, it's been a year. We've done so many Christmas movies, and she goes back in time and meets, one of the lead actors, which is Chris, and Chris is a wonderful actor, and so is Bethany Joy. And the whole adventure ensues. They end up falling in love. There's some comedy, there's a little bit of action, and they go through the whole movie going back and forth through time and figuring out how to get back to the future. That's a funny little play on words. And they end up, just like all Hallmark movies, they end up together in the end. But who knows what happens after that? That's the big question.
Yeah, that's a cliffhanger for a potential sequel, maybe.
Yeah, you never know. You never know with Hallmark if they'll make more.
Gee, that's all we have for Relentless and Unstoppable. So tune into the next episode to hear more amazing stories from amazing guests. This is Keith Scott from Sydney, Australia saying so long, and I'm smarter than the average bear. Gee.